There's so many different organizations that are affected with mind control that we cannot be misled into believing that it's just one particular group of people or another. We can't even say that this is Democrats or Republicans.
No.
This has nothing to do with party lines. What it has to do with is a New World Order agenda. When I was under mind control, before I was rescued and my mind and my memory restored, I was totally robotic. I had no ability to think for myself. I had no ability to question or to reason. I could only do exactly what I was told to do. One thing that I was told to do was to attend a White House cocktail party. This was during the Reagan-Bush administration while Ronald Reagan was president. It was on one occasion in particular that I heard Ronald Reagan talking with then Prime Minister of Canada, Brien, who was also involved in this New World Order effort. And he said at that time that he believed the only way to world peace is through mind control of the masses. This is terrifying in proportion, especially when, having experienced mind control, I know that there is no peace of mind under mind control. Without free thought, there's no free will. Without God-given free will, there's no spiritual expression. And I wonder, what kind of a so-called world peace can we have where people have no peace of mind, where they have no spiritual expression, when they're not even in touch with their own identity? Or it's very frightening in proportion when we consider the ramifications of what all mind control entails and how anyone can justify a robotic society under the so-called world peace guise, which is actually the New World Order world dominance effort.
In around 1970, Ronald Reagan, then the governor of California, introduced to the legislature a request for a bond hearing because he wanted to introduce mind control into the California state prison system and as well as the mental health system. Well, the type of mind control that Ronald Reagan was wanting to introduce was a combination of what is now known as chemical lobotomies, in addition to trauma-based conditioning, very much in the Pavlovian sense. Ronald Reagan almost lost his bid for governor because the people rejected this idea so vehemently. But in fact, according to Freedom of Information Act information that has been released as a result of the MKUltra being exposed in 1977, these abuses and this mind control was in fact introduced in the Vacaville prison in particular. There's voluminous information about the role that the CIA played in really harming a great number of people in that facility. Now, there's also powerful evidence that is surfaced with regards to the MKUltra being introduced in the mental health system, particularly within the state of California under Ronald Reagan's jurisdiction and certainly his blessings. Now, Ronald Reagan is not necessarily a target of our expose. He just happens to be one of Cathy's abusers that she has written about and that we have been able to get documented extensively.
It was my experience that Ronald Reagan took orders directly from George Bush. George Bush was one of the highest up that I'm aware of, if not the highest up that I was ever exposed to during the course of my White House Pentagon level mind control victimization. George Bush began with the United Nations. He went on to head our CIA. And then by everything that I witnessed and experienced, it was George Bush who was in control of our country through 3 administrations, because Ronald Reagan answers to George Bush. Then George Bush was in office himself. And after that, Bill Clinton went into office. And I heard Bill Clinton and George Bush once discussing how when the American populace became disillusioned with Republicans in control of our country, bringing us into the New World Order, that Bill Clinton, as a Democrat, would be put into office. And it was also my experience to have witnessed Bill Clinton answering to George Bush. So we certainly aren't blaming everything on George Bush. There's a lot of other players that are named in our book, Transformation of America. But it's very important that people understand who's at the top of this effort so that they know exactly what the problem really is.
He said, boy, try it.